Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am Ashley. I'm a homeschooling mom with 8 kiddos ranging from 14 down to 5 months. You can probably hear them in the background quite frequently. They're playing Xbox right now. So, Happy New Year. I have a couple videos that have gone up since the new year started, but this is my actual first one that I am making in the new year. I took a lot of time off in December as far as this channel, just for sanity purposes and things that I wanted to think about, what I wanted to talk about, and just kind of how I'm going to relay everything to you guys, and to kind of go through this year with you guys, because there's a lot going on in our lives and in school and all of that. I wanted to do a video because I know there's a few people that have mentioned about my high school videos. And so this particular video is going to be about high school and kind of at the midway point of the year. So if you don't know already, I will link a video for my high school, but go back and search for my high school content in the past, I don't know, 6 months maybe to a year. This is my first year homeschooling a high schooler. And so I am learning a lot. I am navigating this very carefully with some mistakes here and there. By far, that's going to happen. And it is a learning experience, as is everybody's first child, right? So I wanted to kind of give an update on this halfway mark. So we have done pretty well for the year. I have found a different system that I think works better for him, and I might go forward I might do this going forward with my other kids in high school. I just kind of have to see how it pans out. You know, typically when you're in high school, when you're in your classes and you have your 7 periods or whatever, and you do an hour a day, I have come to the conclusion that the BJU Press online that we are doing is a great curriculum, but it is more time consuming, I think, than I thought at the time. And so at the halfway mark, we were like, we are not quite halfway in this curriculum. And it tells you in that particular curriculum, it tells you online your percentage and where you're at for finishing to 100%. And we were not quite at the halfway mark, not really close to where we wanted to be, where I wanted him to be. And so what I said was, okay, let's take, and a couple of his subjects are combined. So as far as like history and his elective Bible, and you could do language arts mixed in with that, but we do it separately. We do it with the Good and the Beautiful. But for the most part, it's 7 classes. So I said, okay, let's take a week of physical science, which is BJU Press, and let's just go through that completely. Don't do anything else. I want you to focus solely on physical science. That, I think, has worked a lot better so far for catching him up. I don't know if it's just the not having to jump back and forth. Now, I don't time him. I don't say you have an hour or you have whatever the time was in public school, 55 minutes or some weird time. I don't time him in that regard. So when he just kind of would finish that day's work, but sometimes he wouldn't finish it because it would be so time consuming, or the videos are so time consuming. And that's the case for BJU, the science and physical science, and for Spanish. And so given that we were not at the place where I really wanted him to be at, we are going to try that method and see how it works. So far, it's worked really well. I will give him actually a couple days, and it gives you the option to skip things. So we are not doing all of the labs. We are not, I'm letting him watch the videos, but we are not, I didn't buy the lab kit for this year. I will next year for biology, but I did not this year. And so I said, okay, the things that we need to skip, I'll skip. The things I need to grade, let me grade. And you watch the videos, you take the practice tests, you do what you need to do, and just keep going until lunch, let's say, and see where we're at then. And then I will go back and I will check everything that needs to be checked, and I will grade what needs to be checked, as far as maybe waiting till the next day or waiting till later that day or a couple days from now. And that raises his percentage. So every time you finish something, obviously that raises your percentage. So just within the last week, we've gone up a few percentage points. I think that's how it is. And I think it's primarily because you're focused on that one subject and that subject alone. And so, you know, I feel like your brain can just kind of get tired. If you are going from this subject to this subject to this subject to this subject, and you have videos that you're trying to watch, and you have practice tests that you're trying to do, and then you got to flip, which yes, that is public school, but that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid. And so keeping their brain focused on one subject and one thing kind of keeps it just in that one mindset, right? And I never really thought to try it that way, but I thought I might be onto something with this. And so, yeah, as a side note, if your child is struggling, I say with high school, because that's what has the most subjects typically, try that, because that's kind of where we're at right now. And I think it's going to work really well. Another thing that kind of changed is where he schools. So, you know, I have the 2 desks upstairs for my older 2 that, yes, we were using last year and the year before and all that, but I kind of just let him school wherever. And I think I have to kind of keep him on track and make sure that he's on track, because that will be why he falls apart. If he is, or not falls apart, that is why he will fall out of his zone, his school zone, right? Is if he gets sidetracked. And so that's kind of been tough, keeping him focused on that. But I let him do that because he has less distractions typically. If he wants to sit on the couch, great, because a lot of times I'm helping him, and so I'm with all the other kids, and so we're just in the common area downstairs. And so that has worked well for him, I think, so far. It's also kind of let me see what subjects he gears more towards. And I feel like the sciences and Spanish, it's been a little tough actually. He was doing really well, and then it kind of got tough. And so that's going to be, I think next week is what we're going to catch up on, is Spanish. This week, physical science. But it's kind of let him see what he needs to focus on more. So typically I would tell them math and language arts is what I want you to focus on. Like, that's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure that gets done every day. Now it's more of, I want you to do your online courses, because it keeps track of that. And you only have, I want to say 18 months, which it's not going to take him 18 months, but you have a certain specified time that you can do all these lessons and finish the course. So you are more on a time crunch. I could take the other subjects if I wanted to, the subjects that do not have, online curriculum, and do them myself with him. And so that I'm not so worried about. It's more of the online classes that say you're late, or you're 5 days behind or whatever, which you can catch up, and you can do a little button that catches you up. But just the thought of it being timed in a day-to-day aspect, it's kind of nerve-wracking. And so I want him to make sure that he gets those done, because those are more structured. And in going with, going forward with that, I think maybe the more structured curriculum is what I'm going to look at more for next year. Yes, the BJU Press is structured. Yes, the Shorman Math is structured, and so I like that. The other subjects sometimes fall off the wayside because you're so consumed with the online courses and it, grading things and making sure that everything step by step is done. And so that's kind of something that's kind of been floating around in my head, is how I'm going to go about next year with language arts and history and his other subjects. Am I going to do, an online course for all of them? Typically those are more expensive depending on what you do. And so I've got to look at that too. So I just wanted to kind of give that update for my high schooler for freshman year, his first year homeschooling high school, and my first year homeschooling high school. And just to kind of try that different method if your high schooler is struggling a little bit with time constraints and focusing on all these multiple subjects in one day. Like I said, this is very typical public school, but is that something that you want to replicate? In my opinion, personally, I don't. And I want it to be easier for him. And so if this works and this gets him going, and staying on track, then that's what I'm going to do. So let me know if you guys have any questions down below about high school curriculum, high school courses, high school schedule, high school anything. Like I said, I am still learning, so I'm a work in progress as far as high school is concerned, for sure. So let me know if you have any questions down below, guys, and I will see you next time. Take care.